good, everybody? Welcome back to Universal Teas. It's the People's Podcast with your girl Toya. And this episode actually does not have a title, but this is just one of my check-ins. It's been a minute since I just had an episode where I fill you in on kind of where I've been in my personal life, and also just giving you all a little bit of motivation and a little bit of space and encouragement to reflect on what's been going on. And so this week for me has kind of been, and I know it's only Tuesday, but I mean like literal week, like the last 7 days, I've been in a mental rut kind of, and the rut that I've been in has demanded me to literally slow down and to breathe. And so I think that's going to be the focus of this episode, is that for my big dreamers and my big goal chasers and those people who are desperately trying to change their lives and are so excited about what's next and who are dreaming big and preparing themselves to live in abundance, I just want you all to remember to slow down. For me, a lot of the dreams that I have and a lot of the things that I want to do can become overwhelming, so much so that I found myself picking up so many different tasks to try to fulfill it, right? And I feel like, because I feel like I can do everything, and there's so many things that I want to accomplish and conquer within Universal Teas being a brand. I'm being afforded opportunities for this to grow. I'm making connections with people that are going to help me get to another level. But in that, I'm also becoming overwhelmed because I feel like the more that I have to take on more. And I'm also just now realizing that it is okay to slow down, to keep my big visions, to keep my big goals, but to literally focus on one thing, to focus on what's important. I literally had a moment today at work where I had to write down and recenter why I even started this podcast and how I even felt in my spirit that this is what I should be doing. And I really had to write down, and let me grab my notebook. I literally had to write down what was my goal with Universal Teas. And as I was writing, I didn't try to make it sound the best. I didn't try to make it sound like the best pitch out there. I didn't try to make it sound pleasing to anybody else. I literally just wrote down why this podcast platform is important to me. And I just went from there. So I'm going to read what I wrote today. So I said Universal Teas, the People's Podcast, is a podcast media platform that lets people know that they are not alone in navigating life's challenges and motivates people to do the things that scare them. It supports them in times of uncertainty and self-doubt and encourages them to be the person that they want to be. And so that is something that literally I just let come out. I didn't try to edit it. I didn't try to perfect it, but that is literally why I do this. And so looking at this and reading it out loud and getting it into my mind, into my conscious, the important part of this is, why do I feel like this is important? And so being able to look at this kind of slowed me down, and I realized that in growing, I'm always showing gratitude for the opportunities and connections that I've been afforded, but I had to return to why I started. And then I realized that as I grow in this field, as I grow as a business, as I grow as a brand, I'm taking on so many new things, and I'm learning so many new things, and I'm being presented with so many new things, that the actual art of podcasting kind of fell to the wayside. I haven't been being as consistent. And so now I am making it my business to return to the actual art of podcasting, and podcasting so that I can let people know that they're not alone. And as we grow, or not as we grow, but when we're in these spaces where we see people doing something or we're inspired by somebody, we forget that they had challenges that they had to overcome too. But the thing is, they took action to overcome them. And so I never want to move away from this. I never want to move away from this intimate space where I'm actually letting people see me and kind of hear my struggle and know that these are challenges that I've had. So the reason that I want a podcast is to let people know that they're not alone, because at one point or another, and sometimes even still, I feel alone in a lot of my challenges, right? There are things, the visions that I see for this platform are huge, and they sometimes scare me. And so as I work through them and as I find the answers, the reason that I do this podcast is to share the way in which I navigate those spaces, right? And having support when there's times of uncertainty or self-doubt, and I'm finding that I'm building relationships, or there was one point I felt like I didn't have the support, or nobody really understood me, but now finding that I do have those people and leaning on them and relying on them, that's the space that I'm in now, and having that encouragement to be the person that you want to be. And that's the why, because life will try to tell you who you have to be. Family will try to tell you who you need to be. People will try to steer you in a way that they feel is best fit for you. But sometimes people forget to ask you who you want to be. So a large part of having this platform and a large part of being the host of Universal Teas is encouraging people to, one, figure out who they want to be, and two, give them the tools and the encouragement, the support, and the motivation to see that through. But also letting them know that sometimes we fall short. Sometimes being a human just means that we mess things up. But encouraging them and reassuring them that they are not alone. It's just a challenge within life, and you're not the only one that has it, and that kind of pushes us through. And then I realized too, I had to think through just writing down why I started it, or what Universal Teas means to me in my own natural voice and from my heart. It made me then realize why I have to do this work, or what is important to think about. So why is it that people feel alone? What are some of the life challenges that people have? What is it that scares us about these big dreams and these big visions? Why don't we feel like we sometimes have support? And why do we feel uncertainty and self-doubt? So those are all things that, with my listeners and my supporters as they grow, these are the questions that are going to be rooted in the work that I do. And so for anybody out there who is dreaming big or wanting to do big things, I am here to let you know that it is possible. Every bump along the way is just a way to get you to slow down. And sometimes we have to reevaluate. So anytime that you feel a little bit of turbulence when you are on the uphill battle to fulfilling your goals, just know and understand that those are speed bumps, and they're meant to slow you down so that you can pay attention. Sometimes we try to grow and be the biggest and be the best and be the brightest and be, and be the top dog in our own right. But we forget the essence of why we started. And that's something that is important to me. Is the essence of why I do what I do. So this episode is just to encourage you to know and understand that you can do anything. You don't have to do it alone. You're gonna fall short at some point. You may not know what you're doing in some instances, but to always remember that if you need a family, if you need a shoulder to lean on, you need a group of people to support, Universal Teas is always here for you. And with that being said, make sure that if you are in the Milwaukee area, you are at my next live event this Thursday at Tropic on Water Street. If you are not in Milwaukee, make sure you tune in via YouTube Live. So that's the thing too. I'm about to start utilizing YouTube Live. So if you have not subscribed to Universal Teas TV on YouTube, do that, because I'm going to start being present over there a lot more often. Subscribe here, like, comment, share, leave a review. Let me know what you think. If you are an international listener or a listener outside of Wisconsin or the Midwest for that matter, just shout out where you're from. Let me know. I would love to connect with you all, and I'll see you next time. Bye.